Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
This is why you should always clear snow before you work your wipers on your vehicle. Turn them on here. Because now I only have one working wiper. The wiper transmission is broken and will need to be replaced. This wiper is loose, but before I remove it, just kind of eyeball it. It should be there. That's lined up with the other wiper. I'll take some masking tape and just put it right there. Just so I know it needs to be at the bottom of the tape when I reinstall it. I'll do the same for the other side. Use a small flat bladed screwdriver. Just pop this little plastic cap off. So I can get to the bolt that's holding the wiper blade on. It's a 14mm nut. This wiper blade is real loose. Let's see if I can get it. Using a ratcheting wrench. Just need to get it loose. Spring tension may start to push it up. You can just push it back down, help you get the nut off. We'll fold it up, and you might have to wiggle it a little bit. It should come right off. We'll put that aside so we can reuse it. Do the same to this one. Open the hood. There's a push clip on both sides. Now remove it in the same manner. Push in on the center to unlock it. Use a small flat bladed screwdriver to pry it up. And then pull it out. Just repeat that for the other side. Don't need to pull the weather stripping off. Kind of need to follow underneath. And there's these push clips, or these tabs that need to be pushed in. Take a small flat bladed screwdriver, push them in, and then at the same time lift the cowl trim up. If you have to, you can go in from this side. Up, go along, find them all. You kind of unclip it from under the windshield. It has some hooks that ride under there. Just sort of pop loose. So these hooks go underneath the windshield. Put this aside. This is the wiper transmission. The wiper motor sits in the middle. It moves these two arms. They kind of rotate around. They move the wipers back and forth. This arm here, because of having too much snow on it, it's popped off of the mount. So it won't turn anymore. You really can't pop these back on. Once they pop loose, they're kind of junk. Sometimes you might get lucky. It's like a little ball. It's a little plastic cup with a ball joint, and you can kind of line it back up. And if it's still in good shape, you might be able to snap it back together. Just pull it up. Well, that one snapped back on. So that should work for a while. If it's totally broken, you'll have to take this out and replace it. We're going to unplug the wiper motor. So lock in the bottom of the connector. Push in. Sometimes you go in and then pull it out. Wiper transmission is held in with two 10mm bolts, one on this side and one on this side. Use a 10mm socket, ratchet, and extension. Start by removing this one. Pull that bolt out. Reach over and get this side. Pull that bolt out. Okay, with the little metal part, that's okay. Wiper motor assembly is then sitting on a pin here. These go towards the passenger side. Slide out. And lift the whole thing out of the car. Here's our original wiper transmission and wiper motor out of our vehicle. Here's our new wiper transmission from 1aauto.com. It's an exact match for the part. It's just painted black. All we have to do is swap over this motor. It'll be a nice fit. It'll work great in our vehicle. We use a 12mm box wrench to break this nut free. Washer off. Use a T30 Torx bit to remove these two bolts on the top. Out. I can work on getting this off. I've got the nut on here and a small ball peen hammer. I'm just going to try to tap this free. Just like that. Take the nut back off. We'll slide the motor out of there. Put our old one aside. Take our new one, get it lined up here. What I do first is get these two alignment tabs. You're going to go in these openings here. Torque bolts back in. Those down. Bring our wiper transmission over, and it was basically lined up like that. Put the lock washer back on underneath, and get the nut started. The ratcheting wrench. Basically just kind of tighten it down. Keep the transmission from spinning. I'm going to pry a wedge, a screwdriver in here, flat bladed one, because I need to tighten this so it seats down on the splines. Do the trick. What you're doing when you're tightening that is you're pushing this metal piece down onto those splines so it doesn't slip. But the lock washer is crushed. So that nut is on there pretty tight. So we're just gonna, that should be good. Take our wiper transmission, place it in the cowl area, and slide it right there. It should line up. Reinstall the bolt on this side. Reinstall the bolt on this side. Also have that sleeve on there. Fit into the oblong opening. Tighten these back up. And once you feel the rubber bushing is all squished down, it should get tight, and that's good. And do the same for both. Plug it back in. Before I put the cowl back on and before I rehook up the wiper blade arms, I'm going to let the wiper motor run, and it will put the wiper transmission back in the park position so that when I line up the wiper blades where I want them to be and I go to use them, they won't be way off and land like down here or up at the top of the windshield. And with this open, you can see how it works. So those wiper blades are now, well, the wiper transmission is now in the park position, so when I put the wiper blade arms back on, they'll be at the bottom of the windshield where I want them to be. Take off the nuts. We're going to hold on our wiper arms off. And reinstall a cowl, so these clips are going to go underneath the windshield and this rubber is going to go above the windshield. So start by sliding that in first. I have to go underneath that trim. And once you get them lined up, oops, I didn't quite get this one caught. Gonna have to angle it up and then under. That. And push them in, clip them down. Reinstall the clips on both sides. So push this back out like that, and then push it in to lock it. Close the hood. Wiper arm is marked, P for passenger side. Put this one over here. Get it onto the splines, but I want to move it and line it up. Oops, I don't quite like where that went. So you can always pick it up. Lay it back down. That's where I want it. Put the nut back on. And I'll tighten this back up. Good there. This one is marked D for driver side. Get it down on the splines. That's where I want it lined up. Start the bolt, start the nut. Using the ratcheting wrench on this side, because the clearance of the hood is tight. that nice and tight. Just reinstall the caps. And take the tape off. There we go.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at 1AAuto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.